Are you a member of our Discord yet? You should be, because that's where you ask your questions for the question block segment now. Get there through infendo.com.
We put the donkey in Donkey Kong. Infendo Radio is on now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Infendo Radio, episode 657. It is the 21st night of September. Love is changing the mind of pretenders, and I am here with my two favorite people in the whole wide world, Eugene and Justin. Eugene, you obviously are shaking your head because you're a freaking pretender. How you doing tonight? Has love changed your mind?
Whoops.
Do I get to be earth, wind, or fire? Because if I get the choice, I want to be fire.
You can be fire. I'll allow you to be fire, but then I get to be wind and Justin has to be earth, so I'm not being earth.
Fair enough.
Fire.
I'll take it.
Fire.
I'll take it. I'm doing fine. It is a Wednesday night. We're here to record a fine show. But it is hot again in New Mexico. I thought we were past this freaking summertime crap. Yeah. And then the humidity started coming back.
Oh,
and then
the humidity's awful in New York.
We are sweating.
I live in Florida.
Man, I'm just...
It's been 60 degrees and humid, which means that it's humid enough to be like soup, but it's not warm enough for the air conditioner to come on.
When it rains, it's like hot water coming out of the sky to get you even sweatier. It's gross. It's the worst.
I'm sweating in places that I will not reveal on this show, and baby powder is my best friend. How are you doing tonight, Lucas?
Unless you stand up, Eugene. I'm doing well. Just living my best life and doing what I can. I don't really have that much to talk about. I have been playing a lot of Splatoon 3 with Steve and Justina. It's kind of a lie. We played a lot on opening night, and I've been parsing that out on my YouTube channel. So if you really want to go see some of those matches and see how the three of us do when we get together, I think Justin's even in a few matches. Go check that out on Lucas Peace, my YouTube channel. I'm going to be uploading Splatfest content as soon as we do it this weekend. I apologize to all of you for lying to you and putting you in a panic last week. I was under the impression Splatfest was this weekend until Friday afternoon when Steve messaged me and said, "What are you talking about? It's next weekend." So it is this coming weekend as you are listening to this show, probably through YouTube. So go be a part of that. I'm on some fun, as is Steve. Hopefully we will see you there. Justin, how you doing? And where can the people find you, GoldenEye? When you're not muted, which is something you did with your fancy microphone that you just got.
Yes. Those of you listening at home, I don't know. I have joined the Blue Yeti Club, so hopefully I sound better. Hopefully I sound good. And you can listen to my thoughts, but in your own head, because you'll be reading it in probably your voice, not mine, on Twitter at Infendo Justin. And you can also read and hear in your head much longer thoughts by me on the DisneyParkBench.com. And Eugene, for those of you not watching YouTube, Eugene is laughing at my awkward segue.
I read everything. I read everything in Gilbert Gottfried's voice, so I have problems with that. But we'll move on.
Yeah, really did. All right.
We have a show for you tonight, if you couldn't tell. Eugene has a soundboard, Justin has a cold, and Lucas has no clue what he's doing. So let's move into this.
Justin has COVID, or is the remains of it.
Yeah, so. I wasn't gonna out you for COVID, but if you want to just whatever.
Well, as long as we are outing me,
does he have to wear a scarlet letter or what?
Let me just say, for the love of God, if you aren't vaccinated, go out, get vaccinated, get boosted.
Yeah,
if you're
I need my next booster.
If you are in a crowded area, wear a mask. I mean, I'm not saying wear it all the time everywhere, but if you're in Walmart, if you're in a crowded store, if you're around dirty, disgusting people, wear a mask. Like children. Children are dirty, disgusting people.
Trying to segue off of that as cleanly as possible. Like I said, we've got kind of a chill show for you tonight because last week was the big Nintendo Direct, and Eugene and I basically talked that to death. So we're just kind of chat for a bit. I kind of want to talk a little bit about the whole Nintendo Switch Online situation, the virtual consoles that are now available to us, because those libraries are getting pretty packed. When they first announced this thing back before like the N64 expansion pass and everything, it was just like a handful of NES and Super Nintendo games. But now it's like we've got this whole library of like N64 games that are coming out. I would say most of the major ones at this point are available or will be in the future. The Super Nintendo has a lineup of all these big first party games. The NES Online is ridiculous. Like I never even want to touch that thing because it's a nightmare navigating through like all 5 versions of Mario Bros or whatever. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you content? Do you want more? If so, what do you want that doesn't exist? Do you want a new system? Do you not want this like interface? Like what are your thoughts and feelings now? We're kind of moving into this.
I'm never going to be
age.
content.
Yeah, well, you've got the Omni solution, which is just hacking the Switch, right?
Yeah.
Like nothing. Like I was thinking the other
Pretty
day,
much.
boy, wouldn't it be exciting if Diddy Kong Racing came to the N64 Online? And I was thinking, but Eugene's had Diddy Kong Racing on his Switch for like 8 years, you know? So yeah, you know.
Right. I won't be satisfied until the entire Nintendo library is on there, quite honestly, because I think that the more and more that I've been playing Game Pass games, it's like just made me want the
Why not?
same kind of
Yeah.
equivalent from Nintendo, you know? And Nintendo could do it better than anybody else. Like imagine the
Well, they've got the
30
library
plus years of games. Yeah, exactly. You know, if it was only Nintendo developed and published games in that library, I would be sold, you know? So I want something similar, and I'm not going to rest until that's the case.
I am shocked that we've gotten N64 games before we ever got any Game Boy or Game Boy Advance games.
Yeah, that's true.
I would have thought that those would have been out first since they would be easy to port.
Yeah.
N64 games are notoriously difficult to emulate. So...
But I prefer this. This is nice. Like over more Game Boy and stuff again. I'm happy
same.
with this.
I mean, I take both.
Well, but if you had to take,
I
if
am
you had
happy
to take,
with the N64.
If you had to take one, would you have taken Game Boy and Game Boy Advance or N64? Like, which one would?
Oh, if it's Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, then I don't know.
Yeah, there's
Because the
then you
3DS, the 3DS did that. They had a bunch of like Game Boy Advance games and
Yeah.
Game Boy games you could like rebuy and stuff. And
I don't know. I'm kind of with Justin. I would prefer both, but if I had to take one, I think it would be Game Boy Advance, just because just that library is massive, just absolutely massive.
See,
Well,
the
I think-
N64 does it for me. Like, I'm happy with that. These are games I've really wanted for a while, like Ocarina of Time and stuff. Like, I
Yeah, I'm definitely happy with that. I mean, I would have preferred to get ports of the 3DS versions with their better graphics and you know some of the QOL.
I'm good with the
if-
OGs.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it would be nice to have them as options.
Yeah, options
but,
are always good.
especially you know like motion controlled aiming and stuff like that, and the higher frame rates and everything. But anyway, that's not virtual console anyway. No, I'm just stunned that we're getting GoldenEye. Like,
Yeah, that's fun.
you know, like it's. I think having GoldenEye almost completes the perfect N64 library at this point. Like, it would be great to get some more licensed games, like the wrestling games and Beetle Adventure Racing, and maybe some more rare games.
It's
I
not-
think you're
it's not
missing the
perfect.
obvious. Thank you. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, well, I think there's a few here that we're thinking of. One is Diddy Kong Racing, right? Like,
Well,
gotta
that's
be-
that's why I said the rare games. You know, it'd be
True.
For me, you know, Snowboard Kids is like my number one most wanted. Snowboard Kids and Snowboard Kids 2. Like, without that, there is no perfect.
we are getting
Nintendo
1080
64.
snowboarding, which also
Yeah, but it's
surprised me.
not Snowboard Kids, and it's fine, but it's not the same. Like,
Now that
I
we
want
have-
my Snowboard Kids.
Now that we have 1080, it really makes me want Snowboard Kids now. Actually,
It's just such a good game, man. It's so fun. Like, I want it so bad. See, I want some of the more obscure N64 games, like we've started to get with like the Super Nintendo and the NES. Like, I remember playing like Alien Chronicles, which was this weird buggy mess of an RPG. There was Quest 64, which was another one that like I played at like a Blockbuster a few times. Iggy's Wrecking Balls.
Who made
like,
Quest
I want all
64?
those. I
I want
no
Quest
idea.
64. It was I don't remember, but I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, I want all
I'm
those
on
like
it.
weird, like Star Wars, like Rogue Squadron or whatever. Like, I want those weird ones that like came out
THQ.
that were, different. See, part of the problem is a lot of these companies don't exist. Like Snowboard Kids was Ractum, which I don't know if they still exist or not, or if they just became. I think they're part of Atlas, or Atlas owns the franchise. But like, it's hard because a lot of these games are like floating in weird like limbo. What about like Gek? Right, that whole series, wasn't that
Oh,
an
God.
N64 lineup that was?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
I
we,
mean, there's
do we mean
stuff out there.
Gex, the
Gex,
lizard?
Gex, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's. See, I rented most of these games as a kid because this
That
is a little
was,
before my.
I want to say
buying
that's
phase.
Electronic Arts.
Yeah, but there's all these games out there that are like the not Nintendo collection that I'm like, those would be fun. It would be nice to have those games.
If we're talking not Nintendo, well, I mean, the first one that comes to mind, especially after GoldenEye, the perfect compilation for that would be Perfect Dark. Obviously, Justin mentioned that a little bit with the
that would be
Bears.
cool.
But like, I would love to have Perfect Dark. Love to have Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
But what I would want, and I don't think they'll ever do it, is like some of the cut features from it. Like, do you remember in the magazines there was supposed to be a lot of like Game Boy camera integration, and there was supposed to be a Game Boy printer integration.
They didn't
even
do
I
any
think
of that stuff?
it all got cut. All of it got.
So
cut.
I mean, I would be
if we're
happy if they
talking-
just let me use my Mii's head.
If we're talking modified games, I have one that's like a wish list thing that'll never happen because it'd be way too much work. But I have wanted Animal Forest, the original Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that'd be
64.
awesome.
I want an English port. Like, I want that game to come out and be able to play it in English. Like, and I know
mean,
that the
isn't
odds
that
of that are
basically
so
what
low.
Animal
but-
Crossing on the GameCube was just
Animal
a direct
Crossing on
port?
GameCube had more features. The American version had like American holidays. I just like to play. Honestly, I like to play any of them.
Have you
but-
ever heard of Animal Forest E Plus?
Yeah,
You
that
need
was
to
exclusive to the N64, right?
No. You need to download it. It's a ROM hack that turns it into English.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, yeah, I'd be on board for that. Yeah, no, I've been wanting to play like old school Animal Crossing again, and I think if I did, I'd want to probably play the original one because that just seems like fun. I don't know, but yeah, no, I got to give that a try. Then that'd be cool. Yeah, I don't know. Donkey Kong 64 is a big one that's missing from the list. I know
Yeah,
that one gets a lot of hate.
I never
really
got
like
that on the Wii U. But if that came out on the Switch, I would definitely play that because I haven't played it since the N64.
Yeah, no, I'd be down for that.
I don't know. I think that the next thing I want though, and I don't know if this is where I headed, but GameCube for me,
GameCube,
like I'm ready for some like just some. What do I want from GameCube? The first thing, probably
Luigi's
Melee.
Mansion.
I would say Luigi's
Pikmin,
Mansion.
Melee. Again, Star Wars
Mario
Rogue Squadron
parties.
2. I'm sorry, but I love that game.
Oh, yeah.
Wave Race Blue Storm, F-Zero
Hell,
GX.
let's get the original Rogue Squadron. We've already gotten like all the other LucasArts Star Wars games on the
Paper
Switch.
Mario: The Thousand Year Door is an amazing game.
Time
there's
Splitters.
So many. Time Splitters 3, Time Splitters 2. Yeah. Oh my God. Now you're getting me, man. Yeah. No.
and we
Pikmin 2.
know that we can get their games because the same company makes the
Right.
Crisis,
Right.
and those are on the
here's-
Switch. So
here's a question for you guys: when do games become okay to get in like virtual console format? Because the Wii games, I feel like, are still being upgraded and sold to us as like full price game. Like Mario Galaxy was part of the Mario collection. Twilight Princess came out as a like updated version on the Wii U. Like, at what point does the Wii become available for virtual console? Is that like 2 systems out, or like is it
Honestly, I
old
think
enough?
we're a generation away from GameCube Virtual Console. If you want my honest
Yeah.
opinion, unless
I
we're
think
paying
you're
for
right.
it.
Well, because they could still just update. Like, didn't they sell Pikmin and Pikmin 2 as like, the Nintendo Select collection on the Wii or something? Yeah, like they can just do that.
they had
But,
actually on the Wii they had the new Play Control version.
That's
Yeah.
right.
The
Yeah.
pointers instead.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of GameCube was the era for me where I
I
really
have
kind of got
Pikmin 3. I need to
into
play
gaming.
it someday.
The N64 I liked, but it was a lot of go to Blockbuster, pick out a game, play it for a week, put it back. That was how I found out about these weird games like Mischief Makers that I played like once and then never got through the tutorial.
That cartridge was blue.
Stuff. Like, yes. But oh god, now I'm thinking about like all the wasn't like Mortal Kombat, not Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct. That was on the N64.
Black.
That was
Gold.
was SNES. SNES.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. The SNES was black
because it was 3D, and that's what threw me off. But that was like my OG fighting game was Killer Instinct. God,
which one was the red cartridge? There was a red one. I think was it Doom?
Doom was a red cartridge.
Yeah, I know Donkey Kong 64 was a yellow cartridge. And then remember
Pokemon way
Stadium?
Off base, right?
Pokemon Stadium.
I know, right?
Pokemon Stadium.
We went from talking about
cool.
virtual versions of games to what color the cartridges were.
Do you remember Pokemon Stadium 2? It was half gold and half silver.
And
it
that
was all
the coolest
shiny.
thing.
That was really cool. Oh, and Majora's Mask had the first print
run. Yep.
It had like a holographic cartridge. Yeah, that was.
I have first runs of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, so both gold cartridges and the lenticular label for.
Yeah, I only had Majora's Mask. I didn't have that for Ocarina of Time.
I have 3 versions of Ocarina of Time because there's the early one, there's the one that they took out the chant, and then there's the gold cartridge that they took out the chant.
The chant in the fire temple. Did they take out the Islamic symbolism on the shield in the N64, or was that only in the port?
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I don't think that was until it came out on the GameCube.
Okay, yeah, because I remember that, and I was really disappointed with that actually, because I thought the shield looked really cool with the like moon and the star, but yeah.
Yeah, that was so. Unfortunately, I have way too many copies of that. The last thing I'll say before we maybe move on about GameCube, I don't think now that I'm really thinking about that, I don't know that we're ever going to get GameCube games given to us for free in a virtual console format. There's still rumors that they're wanting to sell us Metroid Prime again, so
we're technically not even getting N64 for free though. I mean, we have to pay like. It's like what, $15 a month? It's like the same as Game Pass, but we get like 8 games. So it's
definitely cheaper actually. I don't remember exactly how much the expansion is, but it's not quite as expensive as Game Pass.
Okay, well that's good at least. Yeah, from day one, I kind of drink the Kool-Aid with Nintendo a lot, but I've enjoyed the online with Nintendo. Like the worst thing about the online with Nintendo is the online. The worst thing is trying to get in a game with Steve and having it bug out, and it's only on first-party Nintendo games. Like third-party games seem to be able to do it fine, but for whatever reason, Nintendo just doesn't want to like dedicate, I don't know, whatever it is that they need to dedicate to like fixing that. But the actual like content that I've gotten from it, I've been really happy with the virtual console stuff. And I know I'm probably in the minority on that. I think people are just starting to feel like they're getting their money's worth now with some of these new games coming out. But like, I don't know. I've been happy with it for a good long time. So.
I think that I felt like I was getting my money's worth when Tetris 99 was a part of it. And I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is worth it.
Yeah. Well, and again, Nintendo was like the last horse out of the stable to start charging for online. So I was fine with it. I mean, up until this generation, we basically had free online, so it kind of is what it is. I don't mind paying like I do with every other system that I own,
Except for PC.
Yeah, except for PC. All right, well, with that, I guess why don't we move into change the system and just kind of chat about the games we've been playing. And I'm going to go first, just to mix things up and kind of go over what I've been doing, which is not a whole lot. I'm playing pretty much one game ad infinitum, and that is Path of Exile. Which is that game that I play that's like, the League every 30 or every 3 months kind of thing. I'm playing way too much
Fortnite
of that game.
Diablo.
Yeah, Fortnite Diablo. I've been playing too much Path of Exile. I need to take a break because we are just plowing through these challenges. We have like 2.5 months left to do these challenges, and I'm already at like 26 out of 40, and they're going real quick. So like I will be done with this league in another like half a month at this rate. But oh my god, it's fun, but I'm spending way too many late nights playing it. Like this Righteous Fire build that I have, everything just explodes when I touch them, and it's amazing. I love it so much.
Sure.
But I don't really have that much to say about it because it's just Path of Exile, But again, if you like free to play, freaking like, every 3 months you start the game over from scratch kind of stuff, and you feel like burning through 1,000 hours doing all these challenges, like Give it a download. It's free. You can play it. The only thing you get are cosmetics. So, just don't buy stuff. I've been playing a couple of other games here and there very loosely. Let me pull out the Switch and actually look at them here. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, All-Star Battle R. I'm still playing that. I have moved up to the final difficulty level. It is perfect, which I like because I have a thing with fighting games. So I play fighting games single player. You know that. I don't like playing online because I like having fun. And when I play online, I'm very stressed. And it doesn't matter the game. I'm just getting over that with Splatoon. In my head, I've started doing, okay, the enemies are just computer players. And that's how I get by, like,
Sure.
that online fever that I get where it's like, I got to win. I got to beat this guy, But in JoJo's, one of the things I like, which I never really found with like Street Fighter and stuff, is the hardest difficulty is just like perfect, It's hard, and I never know if I'm going to win or lose, but it doesn't feel unfair, and it's still fun, With Smash Bros, I've always wanted a difficulty level 10. I've always felt like difficulty level 9 is just not hard enough for me. And I want that extra challenge of like, boy, that's what I liked about the Amiibo fighters. It added an extra level of like, boy, this is tough. These guys are a lot better than the level 9 computers. Again, with like Street Fighter, I've never been that good at it. I have to play at like level 2 difficulty. And even then it feels too easy. But then level 3, they're like comboing me and I can't keep up and stuff. This game, the difficulty is just right, which I really appreciate.
How many is it, like on a slider, or is it just like easy, medium, hard type of thing?
1 to 5, and you start at 3, which is like the middle. I played a bunch of 4. Then I started noticing I was winning every match I was doing on 4. Then I upped it to 5. Now there's some, like with any fighting game, there are some characters that have like insanely better AI that I'm always like freaking out about when I do like arcade mode for extra money and stuff. Like one of the guys who can like morph into like a black hole and fly around the stage. He's ridiculously hard to fight at any difficulty. But overall, I'm getting there, and I'm actually like having a really good time with it. So that's JoJo's. I'll just continue to play that passively for the next like 10 years. But I love it so much, and I'm so happy it's on Switch. I did say I've been playing Splatoon 3. I have one goal in that game, and that is to master the wiper weapon, which a lot of people have now written off as a bad weapon. I like it. I think it's fun. It's not
bad
as
in cheap,
as the
or
paintbrush.
like
Bad as in, I think the general consensus is if anybody's going to be good with it, it's going to be like an MLG Pro gamer type person.
Okay.
But for most people, it's not a good choice. There are better choices out there. The paintbrush gets more ink onto the field. But I'm averaging like 8 kills per game with the wiper, and generally winning more matches than I lose when I play with randos. So I'm happy with it. I think it's a good weapon. I think it's a lot of fun. It has kind of 2 things over the paintbrush. It's better at long range attacks, but it takes a little bit longer to kill. And then if you get right up close and you do like a charge attack, you can one-shot people with a like a slice, but it's really hard to pull off. So I'm enjoying it. I'm pretty much exclusively using it now, and I really want to get good with it. So this Splatfest, it's pretty much all I'll be using is wiping down people with my my window wiper. But I like it. It's a cool weapon. It's a cool game. Salmon Run is fun. I beat the story mode like a week ago. Cool story. Ties in well to some other modes in the game. So if you haven't played it yet, play it. It's cool. If you care at all about like Splatoon's story, which either you do or you don't kind of thing, it goes into some detail. It goes into like, oh, the squids evolved and stuff, and like, oh, this bad guy wants to do this one thing that would be bad, and it's cool. It's a cute story, but your level of enjoyment that you get out of the story will be entirely dependent on how much you play the rest of Splatoon. So if you don't give a crap about like Splatoon or any of its modes, you're probably not going to give a crap about the story. But I thought it was fun. It was a good way to burn a rainy Sunday afternoon,
Did you figure out why humanity has fallen? Is there good lore?
There's a lot of notes on that, but I haven't collected it all yet because there's a lot of like 100%ing that I haven't done. So that's definitely a thing. But yeah, mostly there's a lot of details on that.
That was my favorite part about Splatoon 2.
Yeah, and Splatoon 1 went into like the whole like Inkling versus Octoling thing and everything. And the villain from Splatoon 3 is cool because like it's actually someone that you've interacted with before, which is cool. And like, there's this whole tie-in with that. And I think I mentioned in Discord too, the shopkeeper in one of the shops, like the catalog shop, she's actually like a musician from one of the bands that was in Splatoon.
Yeah. Right.
Like you can see her on like the cover art of that band, and then she's like in game in this one, which is like just they do a lot of cool, like the world building in this game is simple but really like charming. Like I get a lot out of
Right.
it, so I've been enjoying it. I've always wished Splatoon was just a little bit bigger. Like I would like Splatoon to do more of a Zelda thing and have like the story mode be like an actual like adventure that you go on instead of just like missions and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
for what it is, it's very enjoyable. I like it a lot. I just wish there was a little bit more casual stuff to do because I find myself not playing it
Mm-hmm.
as much as I would because when I play it, I want to play and unlock stuff, and the only way to do that is by playing online. And you know how I am with that. I get
The only way by doing to do that is to get your anxiety level through
yeah,
the
I get
roof.
all. It's not a calming game for me at all. You know, it's the kind of game I play and I get stressed, and I'm like, okay, I need to do better. Why aren't I doing better? You know, that kind of thing. And
Sure.
you know, we're working on that, but I don't know that I'll ever change. I think that's just kind of who I am.
That is one thing that I liked about Smash Brothers was that you weren't punished for playing, solo. You
Yeah,
got
there's
you
plenty
know
to do.
it didn't matter whether you were playing solo or local or
Hmm.
online, like it still all counted towards your progress in
Mm-hmm.
unlocking stuff in the
Yeah.
game.
There are very few online games, and they tend to be the ones I dominate that I really, really enjoy playing online. Mario Kart 8 is one that I like to play online because I'm good at it, you know. And when I play, I usually win or come in like the top 6 out of 12, you know. So I feel good when I play that game. It's one that I can play more casually because I find for whatever reason, a lot of people who play Mario Kart, maybe they're just a lot of little kids playing Mario Kart, they're not that good at it. So when I get matched in rooms, it's fun. With Smash Bros, these people are amazing. They do like combos and moves I've never seen. It's nothing like playing against computers, and I just don't find it fun. It's too stressful for me. Like I don't want
Nope.
to. I
Yeah.
wish I was better at Smash Bros, but I'm clearly not. And I can win usually when I play against other people like in real life, but these guys online are like a whole nother tier, you know? Splatoon,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't hit that cap yet. People are still playing average. So I would say I probably win about 60% of the matches I do in Splatoon. So there's a little give there. There's a little bit of, but if I get into a room where I lose like 8 matches in a row, I start feeling like, okay, I got to stop playing this tonight. Like this is getting irritating.
Yeah,
Kind
I
of thing,
feel
you know?
that. That's how I
Yeah.
get when I'm playing like a first person shooter online type
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
But by the way,
Yeah.
those aren't little kids in Mario Kart. That's just me.
That's just Eugene. It's all Eugene. No, I don't know. I think it's because I played so much of it, like when it first came out, Mario Kart 8, because I played that game a lot on the Wii U, and I was like playing online every night. So that was just one that I built up like a thing for, like a good like
Yeah, I
instinct
mean,
for.
yeah. How old is the Switch? And then how long did the freaking Mario
It's
Kart come out
been
before
at
that? That's
least
like
like
10 years of
10
game.
years, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
I was still working at the movie theater, and that was, a good long while ago. So I remember like driving home and picking it up, and yeah. So only other games I've been playing are Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, which is another like 10-year-old game. So they announced a bunch of DLC for Dragon Ball Kakarot and Dragon Ball Xenoverse, and now I'm kind of like warmly introducing myself to those games again because the DLC looks really good and I want it all. So that comes out next year, but I've been playing those games again to kind of tide me over until then, and I still like them. They're very old though, so I won't really go into detail on that. They're just fun games, and I've been enjoying playing them again. So that's
Sure.
really it for me. I will pass it off to whoever wants to go next, and they can talk about the games that they have been playing.
Well, I'll go next, because as usual, I don't really have anything new or exciting to talk about other than, did play some Splatoon 3 the week it came out. Haven't played much since then. Haven't played much, period, since then, actually. But I did play quite a bit of it then, and I'm looking forward to the Splatfest. I'm glad that everybody is on the same team because that's the
You're
team I
doing
was going to
Team
go
Fun?
with.
Perfect.
I don't know if I mentioned this, but I did end up getting the PacMan World repack.
Mm-hmm.
Um, PacMan World was one of my favorite games from that era,
Yeah.
the original PlayStation game, and you know, I never beat it, so every once in a while I'll play a level of it. It's pretty challenging, but it's fun. It's different. It's a 2.5D platformer with light puzzle solving, light combat. And I'm enjoying getting to play through that again. Some questionable changes they redid the opening movies, which, you know, obviously they want to reanimate it, but they redid the voices and also changed the dialogue because I remember the introduction with PacMan having very different dialogues. So kind of a strange decision there, but I mean, it's a great game. If you're on the fence about it, I'd say pick it up on a sale, because I mean, $30 is a lot to spend on a game you're not quite sure of, but you know, if it drops down to like 15, $20, there's definitely $15-20 worth of fun game in this one.
Every now and then I see, sorry to jump in here, but every now and then I see a thumbnail on YouTube for like a comparison between the old one and the new one and stuff. And it looks like they did a lot of good work on it. Like they show like the boss battle comparisons, and it's like one is just this like bad looking N64 blob, and the other one is this really detailed, like expressive enemy and stuff. And yeah,
I don't
somebody
know
who's
that
never
I ever played enough of the game to get to a boss, to be
Yeah,
honest with you. Like,
as someone
I
who's
love
never
the game, but never
the
played.
game, you know, it looks good.
Aside from that, I got a new game, Faraday Protocol, one of those first person 3D puzzle you know, sort of games that I like to play, but I haven't tried
Sure.
it yet because again, I just haven't had a whole lot of game playing time yet. Um Honestly, the game, aside from Animal Crossing, the game that I've spent the most time on has been Luigi's Mansion 3. I never beat that game. And with it being, you know, Halloween coming up, I'm like, I really need to beat that game. So I've actually played quite a bit of Luigi's Mansion 3 in the past couple weeks.
You know, I don't think I ever beat that game either.
I think I'm about halfway
the time.
through it at this point,
I
which
guess so.
yeah, like it's an old game, and the so there's a section where I don't know what floor you're on, but just as you're about to leave the floor, a ghost cat eats the button and you have to chase him
Yeah, I remember
down.
that.
And I wasn't sure how to find him at first, so I'm just kind of running around. I know what floor I have to go to find him, and I ended up going through that entire floor again, and then backtracking to the entire floor again, and then going back to the floor that I just come from again, before I finally figured out how I'm supposed to track this thing, and then had to go back and go through that whole floor all over. So I spent like 2.5 hours on this section of the game
I
that
would have
probably
looked
should
up
have
a
only
guide by
taken me like
then.
45 minutes. What?
I would have looked up a guide by then. I mean, like, screw this.
I mean, it wouldn't have made much difference because I spent most of the time
just like
doing
backtracking.
the actual, yeah, backtracking and everything like that. I was so frustrated and haven't played it since then, but I am determined to beat that hopefully this year, but
What are your thoughts on 3? Because I enjoyed 2 more the second time I played it. I kind of liked 3, but I kind of had some personal stuff that made me like it less because I was kind of in a weird relationship with the person I played it with at the time. 1 has always been really special to me, and I feel like 1 did it best. Do you think, I don't know, do you have a different opinion? Like, what's your thought? You're muted.
I only played bits and pieces of 2. And I mean, I enjoyed what I played of it. It was a nice kind of expansion on the original game, but didn't really quite capture the feel of the original game.
How I felt, yeah.
I think Luigi's Mansion 3 feels more authentically like the first game,
Yeah.
but it also deviates
It's
quite
definitely
a bit
more
more.
linear. Yeah, and Luigi's Mansion has like a set path that you follow. It's not like it's an open world experience, but it feels very organic, I feel like. It feels natural to go from room to room finding keys and stuff. Luigi's Mansion 3 feels like it sets you on a path where it's like, okay, you're done with that room, elevator up to the next, that kind of thing. More
Yeah.
arcadey kind of, I guess. Yeah.
I feel like I feel like Luigi's Mansion 3 is what would have happened if they had just made a series of Luigi's Mansion, like
Yeah.
annualized the franchise,
Yeah.
and they just compiled it into one game.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
each floor is kind of like its own
game.
mini Luigi's Mansion.
You're not wrong.
I don't think either 2 or 3 have really captured my love for the first one.
Okay, so we're in the same boat.
But
They're good games, though.
But I do think,
Just
yeah, it's definitely like definitely have nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah.
It's just there's something about, and this is kind of a me thing. I like those 6 to 7 hour long single player campaigns
Same.
where you can sit down.
Luigi's
play it.
Mansion, I like that. Yeah.
Doesn't overstay
Yeah.
its welcome.
Like, exactly.
the-
You play it just long enough to get to really get into it. It doesn't feel like it drags. That's my problem with Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah,
Is that it does
it's
feel like it
good.
drags. Like
Yeah.
you spend, like after you've spent 6 or 7 hours in the game, you're maybe halfway through it.
Yeah.
And that's usually the point where I'm like ready to check out on most single player linear games.
So you might actually prefer, like, see, because I have the opposite reaction with Pikmin. I liked Pikmin 1 and 2 because they felt more expansive in a way. Like Pikmin 1 takes me like 2 or 3 days to beat now with all my pro gamer strats. Pikmin 2, if I want to 100% it, we're talking like a month of sitting down and playing this game. Pikmin 3, you can beat in an afternoon. You know, it's not that long of a game. That might be more of a Justin style Pikmin game, actually.
I have it. I've never played
You
it. I
should
bought it
try it.
for my. I bought it for my kids and thought, well, someday I'll play it for myself.
Did you ever
but
play 1 or 2?
No,
Oh,
never played
interesting.
any Pikmin game ever.
Interesting. Wow,
Is
that's
3
Hell, I
available on
even
Switch?
like
Yes, I think they
Yes.
ported it to Switch. Yeah.
yes, 3 is available
honestly-
on Switch, and I think 1, 2, and 3 are all on Wii U.
Honestly, I feel like you don't want to start with Pikmin 2. I feel like you want to start with Pikmin 1, but you could start with Pikmin 3. It's basically its own game. It has its own cast. It reintroduces the concept of all the Pikmins. It's really kind of its own game. So you could definitely get away with playing that. You should give it a try sometime.
I
if you
think
ever get bored.
Pikmin
Yeah,
2 is my
someday.
favorite Pikmin, but
Same.
only because I played it with a partner. So like we played that whole game.
Oh, remember the multiplayer battle mode? And,
Mhm.
ooh, God, good game. Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. Like it's like I said, like there's 2 or 3 games that I've just kind of, devoted time to when I have the attention span for them. But
Yeah.
for the most part, I haven't done much of anything playing. My kids went back to school this week, so I don't get to stay up late. Plus, my wife and I are marathoning The Walking Dead with the final season coming up. So haven't had a whole lot of game playing time, but that's pretty much what I've played when I have played.
Well, am I the one that's played the most games this week? Is that
Sure
is that a
sounds
thing?
like it.
I'm gonna bookend my change of system with the 2 games that I've put the most time into, I suppose. Let's start with almost a callback, actually. It's called Star Wars Squadrons. It's on the Xbox Series console. It is basically Rogue Squadron, but for this new gen, and I really want to like it, but I just don't. Just don't.
I've
It's
heard
not,
weird things. Yeah.
it's too simmy for me. I think that's what I put my finger on. It wants to be more of a like a flight sim, so like you're flipping switches and doing knobs and stuff like that to like literally you can change the amount of power that's going to your shields and to the power that's going to like your guns, stuff like that.
That's
So
one of
you're-
the things that that kind of turned me off on Elite Dangerous, because I really wanted to get into that game, which is an open world space exploration combat game, but that's got that same thing where it's more about being inside the cockpit than actually at the gunner seat.
And you know what? I actually do enjoy that aspect, but I feel like they don't go far enough. So it's like it's not quite
tries to be too many things and
Yeah.
doesn't quite pull any of it off. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So it doesn't go quite far enough into the sim category because it's literally you're just flipping a switch. So it's like, okay, power here, and they don't like give you. I don't know. It doesn't go quite that far in that direction, but at the same time, it also doesn't go quite far in the direction of like being an arcadey, fun space shooter experience.
Get as many points as you can, and you unlock the Y-wing. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And then at the same
My
time,
problem with
there's
this.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, my problem with the Sims style games like that is if it's going to be a flight game, then I like the sim aspects of it. But if it's going to be a combat game, like I want a dogfight, I want a Star Fox.
You want to shoot things, blow them up, and do a barrel roll.
Yeah,
and flip.
Exactly. Like having to deal with the sim aspects of it while also trying to track a TIE fighter and whip around and get behind. Like that, I can't handle both of those things at once.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then the absolute death kill, I think, for me, and I'm probably going to stop playing this game, but I don't know. I have a weird thing where I might just have to finish it. But anyways, the story is just like kind of barely there, like it bills itself as like having this really cool story because you have to customize 2 characters. You have to customize a character for the rebels and customize a character for the empire, and then
that could be really cool, but I'm sure it fails at execution.
It does. Yeah, it does. It really, really does, because everything that happens you can see from a mile away, and then the characters that they want you, I feel like, to care about, I just don't. So I don't know. It's just kind of a miss for me. I may or may not finish it, but I did put about probably 5 hours, 6 hours into it. So I'm a good chunk of time into it by now. I just might see it all the way through. But that is that one. Let's talk about some games that I didn't put so much time into. So Mass Effect Andromeda, another Game Pass game that I have downloaded. Didn't really put too much time into this game, just kind of wanted to see what it had for me. Another Mass Effect. I loved the Mass Effect series, so this one has been touted as a really bad Mass Effect. So I just kind of wanna see what it's all about. Couldn't tell you though, because I like got past the actually kind of unusually long beginning sequence. I feel like I didn't feel like I got to control anybody for a while, type of thing, Yeah. And that was a little frustrating.
About KOTOR 2, which I love, but before you can really play the game, there's this whole 5-hour segment on an asteroid base that you have to do, and it's a really slow first mission. It really bogs the game down. I've never done Mass Effect because I know you can play through Mass Effect 3, which is on the Wii U or whatever, and you can tell the game what you did in the first 2 games, and it'll kind of tell the story for you. But I'd really like to experience the entire game from the beginning. I'd rather not start at 3 and just pretend I played 1 and 2, and they've never been available on Switch. I guess I could get it on PC now. I assume it's on PC, but
there's the remastered versions just came out actually, which are supposed to be really good. I have that downloaded on my console. I haven't tried them yet, so that would probably be the way to go.
Is it worth a playthrough, you think? Because I mean, you know what kind of games I like. That kind of make choices and
For you, I think you would really like. I don't know, actually. I think you would probably like 1 more than the other ones, because that's, for me, that I liked 1 the best, because I felt like that was where the story was at its finest, and where the storytelling really there was still a little bit of mystery in 1 type of thing.
I heard in 3 or 2 or something, they actually had to fix the game after release because the ending was so bad that they had to redo the ending or something.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad, but the internet thought it was, so they created a different ending, and then that ending's not any better, honestly. It doesn't really put basically spoilers in case you care for what happens. Basically whatever you do in Mass Effect doesn't matter at the end, kind of. That's
so
kind
it has
of what happens.
So it has a Walking Dead kind of situation.
Yeah,
it's
basically.
Turns out none of my choices mattered at all. Cool. Yeah. Okay.
Basically, yeah. There's pretty much, essentially. Okay. So that's kind of what the internet was upset
But
about.
in,
But for
in
me,
Mass
it was
Effect 1, you kind of have that feeling of
Yes.
like, hey, what I did made a difference, made a change.
for
Okay.
sure, for sure.
But then
But for
definitely,
me,
if I
the
try any
entire
of them, I think I'll start with 1.
start with 1, yeah. 2 is probably the quote unquote best one, yeah.
Yeah.
But I liked 1. 1 was the one for me. But that's enough Mass Effect because I didn't really put too much time into that one. Another kind of callback, actually, because we talked about 1080 and Snowboard Kids. I played this game called Shredders, which, funny enough, is made by the same person who made the original 1080 snowboarding for the N64.
Oh, cool.
So it has a lot of kind of a lot of that feel to it. I have to admit, much like the Mass Effect game, there's a lot of like it bookends or it starts that game with a lot of tutorial, just like a lot. And I'm not here for that. I just want to go down a mountain.
Here's how you do a jump. Here's how
Yeah.
you do this trick. This
And
trick. And yeah, that.
Doesn't even let you like really quote unquote
Skip
play the game until you do it,
Yeah,
you know?
that's
So
right.
that was just a little frustrating. I mean, I guess it's necessary because it's pretty complicated, but I don't know that I'm going
It'd
to
be
put
nice
a
to make
whole
it
lot of
optional.
yeah. I just don't know that I'm going to put a whole lot of time into this one though, because much like you know, the first game I was talking about in Rogue Squadron, it's or Squadron, Star Wars Squadron, sorry. It's a little bit too simmy for me. I just want it to be arcadey. I want Tony Hawk, but snowboards. That's what I want,
Yeah.
you know? So, I don't know. I'll put some more time into it, perhaps. Almost there. I played some PUBG and I played some Fortnite. I'm going to talk about those in the same breath because I kind of played them at the same time. So I played Fortnite with a buddy because there's no building anymore. There's a no build mode. And I was like, okay, let's do this. And then I just got murdered. Just straight murdered.
Well,
like
there's so
100
many at
times
this
in a row.
point. At this point, Fortnite is like its own culture, and if you haven't
Yeah.
been playing the game for 10 years, it's like Mario Kart, right? If you haven't been playing the game religiously for 10 years, then you're going to get absolutely scrubbed. I'm sure I would get murdered too, so yeah. I get it.
So I went back to my old stomping grounds in PUBG because I know the maps, I know the guns, I know how the everything works, and I had a much better time because and plus I didn't have to play. I mean, you don't have to play teams in Fortnite, but I was, and I just like playing solos because I'm a loner kind of guy, and I had fun with that. That was actually
it's one
a
thing
lot of
when
fun.
you're playing with a team of friends, like people
Right,
you know,
right.
but yeah, that
I
was
know.
one reason why I never went back to Fortnite was because when you guys stopped playing it, I had no reason to play it.
I know Fortnite is like the Apple of these games, and it stole all this content and made it quote unquote better and everything, and it's this amazing thing. But I always kind of resent it for like all of the cheap like theft of ideas that it's done.
Oh,
even down to its execution that it's the Splatoon mode.
Did
Yeah,
you
I know.
see?
But now they have like you can go into ink and move
What?
around, and I know. it's
Come on,
ridiculous.
Fortnite.
And that's like the 8th time they've done that. But that's their whole model. They stole the concept of their main game from PUBG. PUBG was out first, right? And they they aped that and made it.
Yeah, because Fortnite
and
wasn't even this at all. Fortnite was basically a builder, and then they're like, "Hey, we have a battle royale now."
Yeah, the Steve Jobs great
I
artist.
didn't know that. I didn't realize that it started.
That's their like whole lineage.
Different.
And again, to their credit, they've made it work. Like they really are the Apple of battle royale games because it absolutely works. But I don't know. I'll always be kind of resentful of them for just kind of taking a cool idea and making it this like watered down, like great lowest common denominator, most appeal. Hey, we've got Superman and Rick and Morty and SpongeBob, and you can be all of them. And,
you want Goku? We got Goku.
Yeah,
You want Homer Simpson? We don't know if we got it, but we can get it. Maybe we got the money.
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of kills me. Like sometimes I just like that simpler, like quieter experience. And I know the very little that I've played of PUBG and the very little that I've played of Fortnite. I enjoyed PUBG more. It was a little bit more grounded and it felt
Yeah.
a little bit better. Maybe without the build mode, Fortnite would feel okay, but I don't know. I don't know. I have Fall Guys now, and that's
Sure.
that's my battle royale.
That's your battle, yeah.
And I like it. I like it more because frankly, I'm not a big shooter guy. Like I don't have a problem with shooter games, but I just find them kind of boring. And even the good
Yeah.
ones, I feel like just kind of ape off of like every other shooter. So I don't know.
Give me
I'll
time
take
splitters and I'm fine.
Yeah, exactly. But
Right.
I'll take like bouncy platforming and Mario Party mini.
I mean, we're getting GoldenEye soon, so
Yeah, if I ever play GoldenEye, I said this on the last show, it'll be because you start an online like lobby with everybody, and I jump in and record like my first and only GoldenEye experience. So
I'm gonna odd job the
you.
hell out of you.
It is gonna be sad after I've spent all these hours playing GoldenEye X and going back to OG GoldenEye and being
It'll
like,
feel good,
where are all the bots?
It's like when we talk about
Where's
Ocarina
all
of
the
Time and
guns?
stuff. I never feel bad going back to OG Ocarina of Time. Like Ocarina of Time 3D is beautiful and it's a fun experience. But the original one brings me back to being like 7 years old, and it's got like little cat-faced Link, and it just feels good. Like it never feels like a downgrade to me. It just feels like a different version of a game I love. So I'm sure that's how GoldenEye will be for you.
Yeah. But going into the final game that I've been playing, the one I actually really want to talk about this evening, it is called Deathloop because it came out on Game Pass recently.
Deathloop!
And that game is fun. I tried to download it on my
right?
PC way back in the day, wasted $60. Well, actually, I think I got a refund from Steam because it wouldn't run on my PC. My PC was just like, F you. So I was real sad, and I was like, it's not even out on Xbox because it's PlayStation exclusive. I don't even have an Xbox Series console, so I can't play it. And now it's on Game Pass.
The acting is so good in Deathloop.
I love it.
Right? Like,
oh my god, I love the interaction between Cole and Julianne.
Good.
Oh my god.
I know it's so good. Have you played much of it, or are you just kind of like just starting out?
It came out yesterday, so I've probably good.
But
4 or 5 hours into it. Yeah, right.
Okay, good. So it's not a particularly long game, if I remember right.
No.
It didn't take a long time to
I feel like I could finish it in another session or two.
Yeah, probably.
But it's fun.
It's
not
fun.
really cool. It's not even the gameplay that I'm there for anymore. It's for the dialogue, it's for the
story.
whimsy. There's like
meeting all the bosses and then like how each one is. Have you done? Okay, I don't want to spoil anything for you. Have you done the scientist in the ice area?
Yes.
Yet?
Yeah, that was
one who split herself into like 40 scientists. Yeah,
that one was so cool.
I know.
Yeah,
so
that one was so cool.
My biggest gripe with that game, my biggest gripe with that game, really my only gripe with that game, is it was a lot more linear than I thought it would be. Like I thought it would be really like choose your own adventure kind of thing, but it really does follow set path of like you have to do this in order to do this in order to do that, and kind of the puzzle of like how do I get from this to that is how you solve the game, which is kind of cool. But yeah, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna gush about this game a little bit more. It's so well made. Yeah. I'm so super thrilled that I say this every damn week, but I'm so super thrilled that I have Game Pass because like what this is a like AAA quality, people paid $60 for it a year ago type of game, and I'm just experiencing it for free right now. It's so cool. Such a cool program that Microsoft has there. But Deathloop is like by far just like it's given me very BioShock feels. Like not quite on the same level, but like I'm getting those vibes. It
scratched an itch of Time Splitters for me too, because it had that same kind of like lighthearted time travel-y kind of story and everything. Like it's cool. It's not as tongue-in-cheek as Time Splitters. There's nobody running around like half naked and doing the disco with a monkey, but like it's you can tell that they had fun with it, and you can tell that whoever made this game, like there was a lot of love for it. Have you experienced yet the whole like online? Like I turned it off because in online games
where
Juliana hunting you thing. Yeah, that's terrifying.
I turned it off for a little bit because I just kind of wanted to
play the game.
Play the game as it were. But I turned it back on my last playthrough just to kind of let's see what this is all about type of thing. Yeah. It's terrifying. It really is. It is. Because I guess you kind of technically have the upper hand, sort of. But if you get a good Juliana in your game, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You know, like you
Oh
are.
yeah, and the
screwed.
game's been out for a long time, so a lot of people probably have a big edge over you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a good one. The first time Cole met Cole in my game, I was just dying. It was so funny.
Yeah, it's definitely a game that's worth a playthrough, you know? Like it's unique enough and it's well made enough that like I feel like everybody should experience it at least once, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Kind of how I felt about I got Steve to download the Stanley Parable like a month ago. I don't think he's played it yet, but that's an incredible
I'm waiting for
experience
that
the
to
first
go
time you
on
play it.
sale, but that's
You've got to experience that game too. That's well worth a playthrough. But anyway, we're getting to the end here, and I don't want to.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I do want to. Obviously, I never played this game before, but apparently there's this thing called Golden Loop that was released as new content for this game in conjunction with the Xbox release. So I'm excited that there's some new gameplay available and stuff like that. But yeah, it's quality game, very good, very well done, loving it. And that's it for me. Fortunately, no Switch games that I played again this week. But those are the games
you're really changing the system. You've become a Game Pass aficionado at this point. But that's gonna do it for us, I think, this week. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back again next week with more stuff. Probably have some Splatfest to talk about, at least a couple of us, and all the other games we've been playing. So we'll keep you updated. But until then. Bye.
See you real soon. Get vaccinated and wear a mask.
Adios. Go register a vote, goddammit. We're doing our plugs. That's mine.
I don't have a plug. Smile once every day and do a good deed, and you'll feel like a good person.
Eat an apple a day to keep the doctor away.
I've been eating more veggies and it feels good. Do that. Don't grab that bag of chips. Have some broccoli. It'll keep you alive.
If you're having trouble pooping, take a fiber pill.
But is it a life you want
you're having
that's worth
trouble
living?
not pooping, eat some cheese or chocolate or something. I think
gross.
Plug, yep.
I'm going to kill this recording. So bye, YouTube, and sorry.